Hi students, in this lecture I would like to discuss one more numerical example related to equations of motion. See here I will give you a physical situation where there are two stations between which a train has to travel. A train will start from a rest initially and then for some time interval it will accelerate. So that the velocity will increase. During accelerated motion, the velocity of the train continuously increases. Then, the highest possible velocity of the train I have taken to Vp. Why I am saying that it is the highest? Because to stop at the next station, again you have to apply the brakes and the train has to retard. Otherwise, it won't come to rest. So, it is continuously coming and it will come to rest at B. Suppose the total journey time is T. T is total journey time is T. V is maximum possible velocity. Acceleration during accelerated motion is alpha. Retardation during retarded motion will be beta. I would like to make up a relationship between T, alpha and beta. Let us assume that distance between the two stations is S. Is it okay? Now, with the help of equations of motion, I would like to get relations for V and the relation between S, alpha, beta and T. For that purpose, I will try to implement V equal to U plus AT equations for both parts of the journey. I have two parts of the journey. One will be accelerated motion, other one will be retarded motion. I will apply this equation first of all to the accelerated motion. V equal to U plus AT. For the part of the journey 1, final velocity will be V, initial velocity will be 0 because it has started from rest. So you apply V equal to U plus AT for the first part of the journey. Final velocity is V, initial velocity is 0, U is 0. And for first part of the journey, acceleration will be alpha. Let us assume that time for first part of the journey is t1. So alpha t1 implies t1 is equal to v divided by alpha. Now, I want to implement the same equation to the second part of the journey. For the second part of the journey, final velocity will be 0 because it comes to rest. 0, which is equal to whatever the final velocity of the first part of the journey, the same will be initial velocity for the second part of the journey. So V minus, why I am writing minus? Because velocity and acceleration will be in opposite direction. Why they will be in opposite direction? Because you are saying that the motion is retarded motion. So acceleration will be minus beta. Timing for second part of the journey I will take it as T2. Beta T implies T2 will be equal to V by beta. But in the given information, total timing will be T. So T will be equal to T1 plus T2, which is equal to V by alpha plus V by beta. Implies V will be equal to alpha beta T by alpha plus beta. Means I made a mathematical simplification here. V I have taken as common. Alpha beta will be LCM. Due to which alpha beta into alpha plus beta, and I made transformations from one side to other side. So the maximum possible velocity in the journey for the train will be alpha beta by alpha plus beta into T. There is one relationship that is required. For the next part of the information, we would like to get the relationship between S, alpha and beta and T similarly. So let us start. To find the relationship, I will take the help of S equal to ut plus half at square for both the parts of the journey. Let us implement it for part 1. Apply. In part 1, let us assume that S1 is the displacement. Then displacement in first part of the journey will be S1. Initial velocity for the first part of the journey will be 0 plus half into acceleration for the first part of the journey will be alpha, time for first part of the journey will be t1 square. Implies s1 equal to half alpha into t1 square. Next, to implement this equation for the second part of the journey, s equal to ut plus half at square. Let us assume that s2 is displacement for second part of the journey, then s2, which is equal to initial velocity for the second part of the journey will be v t2 minus half beta into t2 square, which is equal to v. I can put it here. Observe, I have the expression for v. V will be equal to beta into t2. So beta t2 into t2 minus half beta into t2 square, which is equal to beta into t2 square will be s2. Our target, of course, beta into t2 square into half, because 1 minus half implies total displacement will be s1 plus s2, which is equal to half alpha t1 square plus half beta t2 square will be the total displacement. But t1 and t2 are not given to you in problem. That's why what we have to do is we have to substitute in place of t1 and t2. t1 equal to v by alpha, t2 will be equal to v by beta. So it will become half alpha into t1 square will be v square by alpha square plus half beta into v square by beta square, which will be equal to alpha gets cancelled, v square by 2 alpha plus v square by 2 beta will be as expression. Then you have the value of v here, you observe. I can substitute this v value in that equation. S will be equal to v square, I am taking it out as common, 1 by 2 alpha plus 1 by 2 beta, isn't it? V, I am putting it, alpha square beta square by alpha plus beta whole square into t square. LCM here will be 2 alpha beta, and in the numerator I will get alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta gets cancelled, so I am cancelling it, and 1 alpha beta gets cancelled. So who will remain? Half into alpha beta by alpha plus beta into t square will be the resultant displacement, which is an important example.